cut out all of the people who don't accept you for making those changes. So like, you don't have to like cut out all of your friends because like they're not motivated. But if you want to make these personal changes and like they give you grief about it, or like they think it's weird, like then I don't think they're worth having friends in the first place, whether or not they're aligned with your values.
I checked my blood pressure this week and I'm crushing it. And I've never crushed it this much. Yeah. Exactly. That counts, right? Doesn't it count?
Yeah. I just remember playing with those when I was like 7 years old and like just sticking my arm in there at the pharmacy area and then thinking it was going to cut the circulation off my arm.
Yeah. It feels like that every time, kind of. And I think that they say that it shouldn't, but anyway.
Well, you know Walmart, and they invest in high quality blood pressure self-service machines. So
I'm sure everybody who goes there needs it. But yeah, so I tested it, and I was doing really good, and that was surprising because I haven't worked out in a really long time. And then I said, you know, why is the cup noodles, and shout out to cup noodles. And I don't think that there's any correlation here, but I'm gonna attribute it anyway and say thank you, cup noodles.
No way. No way. There's so much salt in cup noodles. There's no way that's contributing to like lower blood pressure. That's like straight up hypertension food right there.
I don't know.
There's no way.
I know. But let me live this in my head for maybe a month until for some reason I'm forced to realize this is not true. I mean, I could ruin it right now and Google it and learn that I'm wrong, but I'm going to not. And I'm just going to keep living in this fantasy land where cup noodles.
Well, let me bring you back to reality for a second, because this reality hit, I think, like yesterday. We go to Colombia next week.
Yeah.
Like next Friday. Like we're 7 days away. We're
going to eat well there.
Blowing my mind. Yeah. I can't wait. And we're planning on doing an actual podcast recording episode in Colombia. I'm excited about that.
It'll all be in Spanish. They won't.
No.
I don't know Spanish. Maybe we'll say buenas. That's how you start things.
Buenas. I think it's weird because we're going to be doing this like in person, and we've only ever done this over Google Meet. And so now like my brain is having like a hardware short circuit. Like I have no idea how to facilitate an in-person podcast. So we're going to figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know.
We can share a mic.
Good. Yeah. I don't know.
Nah, I don't know about that. All right.
Anyway, what are we talking about today, Jake?
I don't have a good title for this episode yet, but it was brought up to me by a listener, and it was on the topic of surrounding yourself with like-minded people or people better than you. But then there's like an addendum to that, because I also say not entrepreneurs. So not people who want to be an entrepreneur but suck at it, or people who are literally just I don't want to say that either, because then it just feels like that's not an adequate way to earn money. But I was going to say like just to like spin up a business to sell it or get rid of it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's different, but yeah.
So this is like a weird topic for me, because I don't like have anybody close to me who is like this, but at the same time, I don't have anybody close to me who is someone I don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have any friends that are like the entrepreneurs, like they're doing one business one week and then something else a different week, or like they don't actually have any capital or assets, or they have no actual business plan. There's nobody in my life like that. That's because I've actively avoided all of those people in my life. But
this is kind of two categories. I feel like you're talking about surrounding, well, there's two categories, because you kind of can and you kind of can't separate this. If you're just saying, well, I want to surround myself with people who support my dream and my goals, that sort of thing, that's your interpersonal life. That's who are you hanging out with, outside of business, outside of work too, because that's absolutely going to have an impact and an influence on what's happening in your life. I mean, entrepreneurs is kind of an offshoot, but I don't know. I guess the first step is talking about who are you surrounding yourself with. I feel like it's a done to death topic, but it is a good one, and it's a fair one to talk about, because I absolutely remember going through this, and I think it's funny you said, like, there are people I wouldn't mind being, or something like that. There's a lot of people I don't want to be. Like, the overwhelming majority of them, I don't want to be anything remotely close to most people. And it took me a really long time to get to where I'm at now. I'm really happy with it. Of course, I want better, but yeah, I was extremely intentional, to the point that I'm already an introvert, so it's easy, but I would much rather be alone than with the wrong or bad crowd. And that's what I did a lot of the time, is just hang out alone. Friday night at home means nothing to me. It's just another day. So
yeah, same. I prefer it, actually. Just, yeah, just being at home alone. I think there could be. Oh, go ahead.
Well, okay. Let's start out by saying, I want to ask you: did you have haters? It's so weird to say it like that now, because I don't have haters. If I do, I don't care. I don't pay attention to them. I don't know who they are. But they're probably like much younger. When I was much younger, there was a time when there were people who just weren't positive or supportive or that sort of thing. But it's been so long ago now that I really don't remember. But did you experience that? And did you have people that just you thought weren't helpful or weren't supportive towards your business goals?
Not really. I did a lot of this stuff like quietly. Like, I didn't like really post about it on my personal page while I was growing it. Like, when I got featured in like a magazine or on a podcast, I would share it, but I wouldn't like post those like really cringy, like inspirational quotes on my Facebook, or like.
You mean the ones that only the people who aren't doing well share?
Yeah, like the people.
I never see someone who's really doing well be like, "Hey, it's all right. Everything's gonna be okay." I just no. They're just sharing the happy pictures or whatever. Occasionally, once every 6 months.
Yeah, if you follow Entrepreneur Mindset on Facebook, like if you post anything that they post, you're cringy. And so like I followed. Okay, so I was cringy at some point, and it's okay to be that and then evolve from that. But like I wasn't actively.
Well, everybody starts there. Let's say that. Yeah. That's fair. Everybody, if you're slightly interested, you will have one point in time where you listen to Gary Vee unironically.
I feel like I take a dump on most of our audience, because I feel like most of our audience does do this and does listen to a lot of this, because I want you all to know that I was once you, and it is okay. I'm really taking a dump on my past self. But I never like shared this stuff on my personal page. I just like saw it. I liked it, whatever. And then, but here, like, let's hear. Okay. They have this, this picture on here. It says, never trust a man afraid of conflict. He'll sell you out just to avoid a fight. He is loyal only to the illusion of safety. Like, it's so cringy to read. Another one is like,
understand.
I didn't either. But then there's like another thing of like a bunch of fish swarming a shark, and it says, "Are you either a shark or a fish? Or you are either a shark or a fish. That is yours. Or that decision is yours." I'm like, this just is so bad. And
yeah, it's like pseudo deep. People are like, "Oh yeah, I'm woke now."
Yeah, the real business owners, the actual successful people, aren't wasting their time posting crap like this or like sharing it. And I think the people who get the haters are the ones who are like constantly sharing this stuff, because at some point it becomes very obvious that you're not an actual business owner and you just want to be a successful one.
Okay, but back up. Before we get to, because I even want to go pre-entrepreneur stage and just, you're Jake, little Jake. I don't know how old you are. I have no idea, but you're younger than you are now. You have business ambitions, and I think, especially for guys, when you're younger, probably two of the most interpersonal communication-y people that you have in your life, you're gonna have your parents and probably a significant other. So first, and then I want to get to friends, but first, were your parents, do you care about your parents' opinions? Were they supportive? Were they not supportive? And then the same question about significant other at the time too.
Okay, so we're backing up. For parents, not really. I mean, not really. Like they weren't not supportive. Like they were. And like my mom thought it was cool because the only time I'd talk about it is just like I was like, hey, I'm starting a business. Like this is what I'm doing, and like I had experience in it, so she wasn't like a hater. And then I started getting published and like partnering up with you and stuff, and it started to take off a bit, and so that was cool. And then my dad he's just like always the biggest supporter of anything entrepreneurial, even though he won't outright say it, but he did like to focus on like my day job stuff more because it was in manufacturing space, and he is also in the manufacturing space.
Shout out to Jake's dad if he's listening to this. Good guy.
There really isn't anything to say about like significant other haters because at the time I didn't have one, so like it was just me anyways. And then as there was one comment my sister made, though, my older sister, that like kind of messed me up for a while. Not messed me up, but like it made me feel bad about myself for a while, and made me think about what my actual family thought about this. Even though she's not a representation of my whole family, but it made me like think that, oh, this is actually what everybody else thinks. She said, we're at my cousin's wedding, and I was getting ready to leave the hotel in the morning after the wedding, and she was thinking about the pool with my dad and the rest of the family. And then I was like, yep, I got to head back to Kansas City. I got to go to work. And this is like I think it was like a Sunday. And then she goes, oh, do you got to like do like Evergrow or like your real job? And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And you're like Freudian slip.
She goes, and this was like 2018, like,
so early on.
Yeah. Or maybe, 2018, 2019. So it's like very like, I don't think we had even partnered up yet. And I was like, and she like corrected herself, and she goes, no, not that like Evergrow's like not a real job, but like to me, I'm like, that was like a big Freudian slip right there. And I think it's really changed though since we started hiring people and actually got some money.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've experienced somewhat similar things, but I never take it personally because I can't blame people. The way I see it is, if people tell me something, 100%, I'm all for them. Like if you want to go do something, you tell me you're going to do it, go do it. But until I start seeing the results too, I can only take it so seriously. Right. So, and I expect the same in return. I think about when I told Jenny that I want to go learn Japanese, and that sounds like a very crazy thing to say. When I was 28 at the time, you're like, hey, I want to go learn Japanese seriously and move in that direction of my life. And I remember saying, I don't expect you to take this seriously right now. Like, give me at least 6 months of very serious study to prove to you that I mean this. And I think business is the same, and honestly longer than 6 months. I've been doing Japanese now. I'm in year 3. And I would say business is very similar. It's year 3 of conscious continued effort before people will start to take it seriously. Because I remember even when I was doing affiliate stuff.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Nobody took you seriously in this.
Yeah, not at all. Until I think it was like $200 a month. of affiliate income. And
which is basically passive.
right. I was doing, well, yeah, I was doing very little.
And there's no such thing as passive income, but you were doing very little.
I did a lot of work up front.
That's a hot take. Someone's going to be like, yes, there is. No, there isn't.
Yeah, but my mom was a little shook about it actually being a real thing, because all she saw was me coming home, because I was living at home at the time. I come home from my day job, go home, shut the door, open up the, fire up the laptop, work 7 to 11 at least every day. So, but yeah. What about friends? Did you have friends that, I say this and I'm like, I have 2 friends right now, I think, in my life that are outside of business. So, I don't have many friends. I'm cool with that. I like my friends. I like not having a ton because I like when they're good. But did you have friends that were haters? Or if they were haters, maybe they weren't even friends? I don't know. What was your experience with that?
No, I believe it or not, I don't have or never have had very many friends. In high school, I feel like I did. In high school, I feel like I had a lot of friends. I mean, we were kind of the outcast group anyways. I wasn't like popular or anything. And then after that, when I started Evergrow, I had like church friends. One of them was a landscaper, which is cool. And he was my age. And then I had, another friend who was an accountant, who I help him with some of his website stuff now. And then, they were both pretty supportive. I mean, they were church friends. So it is what it is with them, but supportive and everything. And then I got actual friends outside of church in like 2019. They were cool with it. Like it was more of just like me going over to their place. We lived in the same apartment complex, but me just like walking over to their place and then drinking and playing Catan, and Smash Bros. And then like every now and then I'd bring my computer over and I'd work, but I really didn't talk a whole lot about it. Maybe just saying like, hey, I'm just really busy. Like we're really growing a lot. And yeah, they never said anything about it. One of them was like, yeah, I'm thinking about starting my own business just to get out of like the grind. And it's like, if you're going to start a business to get out of the grind, you should not start a business.
Yeah.
So, no, I feel like I've been very fortunate in the fact that I haven't had really any haters, aside from that, like the comment my sister made.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, is that all you had?
Ask me back. Ask me.
Cody, did you have any haters, like friends or family when you started?
No.
Hey, no, that's not what you're supposed to say something to that.
I am.
Yeah. We started a thing. You say that's a great question.
Sorry. Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake. I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. No, but honestly, no, not really. I think it's very important, especially a significant other. I don't remember really much for the book otherwise, but it was in Master Key to Riches by Napoleon Hill. And there's like 2 pages about spouses. And that's really the only thing that I took away from that book, but basically says like, hey, you got to take that seriously. Like you don't, like, if you're partners in that, partners in business, partners in life, you support each other. And I think it's very strange and very weird if you call somebody your partner and they don't support you. So, I don't know.
There was this, Lauren, she been having some really bad, stomach pains. And we found out that she might have, celiac disease. So like she basically can't have gluten. And, with gluten, what it does is like basically eats away at her intestines when she consumes anything gluten, which is basically bread and sugar.
The fun stuff.
Yeah. So she was talking to one of her coworkers about this, and they said her like, "Oh wow, I bet like that's got to like really annoy your husband, and like you probably have to cook 2 meals now." And she's like, what? No, like because Jake has actually been really supportive and like, you know, whatever I eat for dinner, he eats for dinner. So like we both eat gluten-free dinners and everything together. If anything, like I might throw some buns in the oven or something like that and have like Texas toast with my spaghetti. Well, she can't have spaghetti, but I might have Texas toast with my gluten-free spaghetti.
They probably got gluten free.
Oh, there's
right?
gluten-free Oreos, man. That's our favorite food. So like the only thing that the only buzzkill about it is like what we did pay 99 cents for a loaf of bread, we're not paying $6. So just to have gluten-free bread. And
That's rough.
yeah, there's some things, but like it's not that big of a deal. Last night we had poke bowls with rice, edamame, steak, and some other fun stuff in it. But like it's all right. But again, it goes to that point of like, there's actually people out there who would be annoyed that like their partner had this kind of disease, and now like they're like, no, you're still gonna make a different meal for me. Like I'm like, no, what's the point of being a partner?
Wild.
Like you're in this with your partner, and whether you know you like it or not, or I guess if you don't like it, you can leave.
Yeah, and I guess being supportive can mean different things, right? It doesn't have to mean you're gung ho for it and stuff too. So flip it. It's a very similar example. Um, Jenny's Jenny's been dealing with diet issues too and stuff, and she said that she wanted to try some vegan and gluten-free cupcakes for her birthday. I said, okay, yeah, sure. I'm very much I'm a guy. I don't know what that stuff means. I'll be honest. I don't. I know you've told me. People tell me repeatedly, and I just say, yeah. I just don't care. Like I'm not anti. I'm not against it. I just again don't care. But I did, yeah. So I got her the whatever cupcakes, and it tastes good, and I'll eat them instead of a normal cupcake. So it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to proactively do everything in the world to support you. It can be just not being a hater and just being a little bit supportive.
Yeah, I went out to because we plan out all our meals in a week. So like on Sundays we'll go out to the grocery store, we get all of our food, and like for
That's
the week.
impressive.
Wait, just for the week.
Really?
So we do it every Sunday. Well, she does it. She plans it all, and then
I just get shamed by the same people who see me every week at Panda Express as I drive through. And they're like, "You again?" I'm like, "Why don't you have a credit card yet? I told you how many times."
But we plan all that out, and then the problem was it 2 days ago when she found out 3 days ago she found out she had this or possibly had this. So 2 days ago, not yesterday, the day before, she goes, "Oh, I don't know what to eat now because all of our meals had gluten in them." And then so like I ran out to Target and I was like, "Let's have zucchini noodles with Alfredo and like steak." And all gluten-free, and we haven't had zucchini noodles in a long time, even though we love it. But I got her a KitchenAid for her birthday, and I got the zoodle attachment for Christmas, and that's the thing. That's a video I sent to you where I was shredding zucchini noodles, and you're like, "This is 80% cool and 20% uncomfortable."
That's how it felt.
But
it was a cool attachment to the KitchenAid. I'll say that it was cool.
But then while I was out, like I got those ingredients, but then I also found like gluten-free cookies because she loves cookies, like Thin Mints and then like chocolate chip cookies too. And then I brought those. Like that's just being supportive right there. Like
Target's got some other ones too. I'll ask Jenny to send her a pic. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're gluten-free or something too. Again, yet another thing that I eat that I don't know, but I'm like, yeah, good cookies. I eat them.
Hell yeah. I can't eat them though. Like I feel bad because I'm like, I paid $5 for this box of cookies, and like they came with like 10 cookies. So yeah. If I eat one, I'm just like lighting money on fire because like I can eat any cookie I want.
I mean, it's not bad though, right? Other than it's just expensive. Anyway.
Yeah, well, you know, the sooner they run out, the sooner Lauren has less gluten-free goodies to eat. I've got a whole bag of like stocking stuffing candy underneath the cabinet. So,
okay. Anyway, I got it. Let's get back to this. I imagine that there are a lot of guys, because I can remember feeling
and girls
in this, and girls. Yes, sorry. Um, it is different for women though. I mean, it really is because
Is
they're
it? I
also
know, because I feel okay here. Dad, with guys, I feel like it's more like entrepreneurial. With women, I feel like it's more like MLM, like just observationally, and that could be a little.
oh
I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say not. I was gonna say because the support group is smaller. If you want other, so you're if we're talking about surrounding yourself with like-minded people, it's that much harder for women to find fellow women entrepreneurs to
all they
surround
have to
themselves
do
with that are good.
in Facebook is type in hashtag boss babe.
That does
Boom,
not
support
count.
group.
That does not count. Okay, so that was my point. That's what I wanted to get into. Is okay. So first, I imagine there are a lot of guys like I can remember being in the situation where, let's say, you are the typical soon to be upwardly mobile dude. You have been, let's say, a slacker up until very recently in your life, and you're surrounded by other people who aren't exactly motivated in the same way either. And I'm not saying, I say all this, don't become the douchebag who is, I'm going to cut out all my friends because I'm addicted to success and I wear suits and I share how awesome I am now. But you're going too far. But let's say let's just talk about that person first who, I'm in the situation, I'm not making as much money as I want to be. I want to do better in general. I want to dress better. I want to be better. I just want to be a better, I'm just trying to avoid saying man because
cut out.
such the,
I want to be a better person. Like, cut out all of the people who don't accept you for making those changes. So like, you don't have to like cut out all of your friends because like they're not motivated. But if you want to make these personal changes and like they give you grief about it, or like they think it's weird, like then I don't think they're worth having friends in the first place, whether or not they're aligned with your values.
yeah. So that's a very simple way to say it is, if you very quickly find out who your friends are. If you tell them, hey, I want to go do this and I want to do it seriously and pursue it, it's the same thing as anything else. Let's say it's weight loss. Let's say it's dieting, exercise, hitting the gym, dressing better, whatever. Business is also included in that. I'm into self-improvement now. If people hate on it, really, and you call them friends, they're not good friends. They're just not. And so I would, I don't know, spend the time with them that you have to at their best. I think that's, family when you're forced to around the holidays. People are typically on their best behavior and other times that they're not. But yeah, so you don't have to fully cut them out cold turkey, but just minimize that time and then only spend the time that are supportive. But let's say you don't even have that. So you don't have many of those supportive people in your life. Where do you even go about trying to find them? And unfortunately for me, I've found most of those guys that I still talk to the most and feel motivated to do better business at jobs. And they were typically my superiors. Like they were the business owners, right? And there's a very big difference between that crowd and the people who go to, what is it, 1 million cups or the local meetups for
What is
entrepreneurs.
1 million cups?
I think that's the local entrepreneurship meetup that they have all throughout the US. I don't know where all they have it. I know that they have one here. I've never been. But also, I guess if you've got nothing, you're working with zero, that's still a good place to go. It's not a bad place to go because you will find, if nothing else, the people you meet there will have friends that you'd like to hang out with. And they're not bad people either. It's just, my take is that the people who do those things regularly, like religiously for networking purposes, are not the hardcore I want to grow the business entrepreneurs, because those guys are, and girls, geez, I'm a terrible person, are staying home and working.
We'll just assume that all the girls are staying home and working and like being better than men.
Yeah.
We can say that because we're men.
I I say that because I've talked to Jenny so much about this, and it's very different for women. And I feel like it's because with women it's more interpersonal as opposed to guys. It can be groups, and it's just like dynamics, right? There's more men in business at the top. It's not surprising. We're not
Statistically
surprising anybody. Yeah, nobody's shocked to hear that. So then with women, it has to be more interpersonal because unless you're in a major city, let's say you're in a smaller city, you're gonna have a hard time finding an entire group that you can get along with. Whereas men, geez, walk down the street, see how many guys are owning businesses, and just talk to them.
I like that you said that, like, people, I feel like people who seek out networking just for the sake of networking aren't really serious about growing their business either. I wish I had more advice of like who to actually surround yourself with versus like who you should just like not surround yourself with. Because the whole, like, the original title of this would be like surround yourself with like-minded people. Well, if you have the mind of Tai Lopez, you're going to fail. So like, like if you, or maybe not so much Tai Lopez, but maybe like one of his like subscribers or like one of his followers, because like those minds are rotten. Like you're not gonna, if you follow that, if you subscribe to that fake guru mentality and that's who you are surrounded by, people who pretend to be successful, even though they can't show you books that prove that, then, yeah, I don't know where to end. I don't know how to end that sentence. Like just,
no, it's a completely different thing and a different crowd. And I think, like you said, we've said it's okay to start there. You can start by consuming that content, finding your motivation and stuff.
It actually motivated me. I'm not gonna lie. Tai Lopez and Gary Vee and Grant Cardone motivated me. I very soon found out that Grant Cardone was probably the worst actor out of those. Just because I bought the 10X book and I was like, this book sucks. Like, it was so bad. And then I didn't follow anything he said after that. And then Tai Lopez came shortly after that. And I was like, you're a douche. And then, it was Tai Lopez, because I actually did take one of his courses, but halfway through it, they were teaching like black and gray hat stuff for SEO. And that's when I was like, oh, you just hired instructors that like halfway know what they're talking about. And, and I was like, well, if you're hiring instructors that are halfway knowing what they're talking about and you're still saying that they're selling this or whatever, I can just create a better product and sell it better than this. And then Gary Vee just over the years just started annoying me.
I don't hate Gary Vee. I see what he's doing. He's clearly trying. He's trying harder than most of them too. He's just being himself.
Have you ever noticed that whenever he's like giving advice to somebody, his eyes are like this, and he's like trying to find the sniper that's after him. He's just like, and he never looks at the person. He's just like, where's that sniper?
But yeah, I think it's okay to start there, but you do have to just get tired and grow. It has to get old. You have to realize that just consuming the content isn't working. It's not getting you, isn't working. It's not that it's not improving you as a person, but it's not just consuming the content isn't getting you closer to what you want, right? Which I assume is owning a business. Granted, you might find out that you're not a person who wants to own and run a business and that you just want to be a business-y type person who is an influencer. There's a lot of that. And that's why those people watch that sort of stuff. But I can say the better I do, the less I care about that. And the more I just want to have some close people in my life and have nobody know who I am. Like it becomes wearing. Just because, I don't know, you get older, you get more concentrated and focused with your time, and you know where you don't want to spend it. I like this quote. It's like, grow in silence. So like, don't
don't brag about your wins. Don't brag about, or don't talk about your pitfalls. Instead, start a podcast and talk about it. no, but really, but really, like, don't post like everything you win, especially if you only post stuff that you win. Like, so then one day your business is just gone, and then everybody in your life is like, well, what happened to this? And then no one takes you seriously ever again. So, just like surprise people. Like, just show up one day, be rich, and then they'll be like, wow, what was it like being an overnight success as you busted your ass for 3 years?
Yeah.
You said this the other day when I was like, what were we talking about? We were like, oh, maybe it was the podcast. So we're getting a lot of traction on the podcast because of you, listener. There's a lot more engagement, a lot more downloads and listens. And I was like, hey, dude, we're growing. And Cody was like, you did it, man. We have a podcast where people actually listen to it. And he's like, pretty soon people are going to be like, wow, what's it like to be an overnight success? And then you're like, I don't know. Let me ask myself when I spent every Thursday night cutting the episode before the Friday midnight deadline.
Yep. Yeah. I do think if I had to give one piece of advice to people who don't want to be entrepreneurs, they want to be actual entrepreneurs, and they're serious about that, and they know that they want to grow a business. Okay, two. One, stop listening to us. Really. I mean, thank you. Seriously. We really appreciate it. We're having fun. I have fun doing this with Jake. It's a good time. We just get to relax a little bit. But again, consuming content isn't growing a business. It might be growing inside, and you might need to do that in order to get to the point where you have the confidence to grow a business. But here's what I do and have always done is I go deep into finding people that I find extremely interesting and want to emulate in some way or other, right? And I don't think that there's nobody's a perfect match of exactly who you want to be. You'll find out, one, never meet your heroes, right? Because you'll find out that they're not as perfect as you think in their mind or in your mind. But there's a lot of people who have accomplished things that you would like to, and reach out to them personally. I do this a lot. I always have. We're going to go to Japan this summer, and I have a long list of businessmen in Japan that I'm going to bug to meet up with and just get their thoughts on what it's like doing business in Japan, how they got into it, and just meet them, talk to them, see what kind of people that they are, and again, develop a personal relationship. That's the thing. It's quality. It's not quantity. You can have lots of entrepreneur friends, but they're not going to help you. If these guys have done some of the things that you want to do and they like you, whenever I see this crap about, oh, I'm paying for a mentor, blah, 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 I'm like, what if you just got a friend? Like, what if you just liked each other? It was just mutually rewarding?
Yeah.
And
I don't want to say I don't like paying for the mentor thing, because I feel like there could be value in that, but I would say start out with friends, and then once you get to a place where friends can't take you, then maybe the mentorship might help. Also,
yep.
You don't have to call Cody, don't tell them not to listen to us. No, but take what we say. If you're going to listen to us as entertainment. I mean, don't take everything we say as fact, and that like you have to do it our way or anything like that. We just, maybe you don't have someone to communicate like business problems with, and just us talking gets your mind going about things that you should be thinking about. You can also reach out to us. Well, me, you can't reach out to Cody.
Sorry.
You can reach out to me on my Facebook or LinkedIn or my email that I share all the time. And I'm just like happy to communicate over those mediums. I have some people who literally buy an hour of my time to talk to me. And if you're a podcast listener, then it's even cheaper. But like, but if you just like shoot me an email or something like that, I have no problem responding to that on my own time. So yeah, keep listening.
Okay. And I'm going to say, if you disappear for 3 years after listening to this and you come back and you say, I built a business, I'm going to say, hell yeah, that's awesome. Because I think about what I did.
I'm kidding.
So I used to listen to Tropical MBA religiously for a couple of years. And then I got sick and tired of where I was at. And that's when I doubled down and got serious about actually building the business. And what did I do? I stopped listening. I got back to it later. But that was after the business actually grew and got to a point. So if that happens, I'll be happy. Jake will be sad. I'll be happy.
I've never listened to a podcast. That's not even a joke. Like, I've never listened to a podcast without the intention of being on that podcast. I listened to like the agency growth podcast from the guys who created Zen Pilot for a little bit. But that was in research for figuring out our message and delivery. And
so you don't listen to any for fun?
Nope.
You don't have any podcasts that you just enjoy?
Negative.
For real?
No, yeah, I don't like podcasts.
Not a single one. You can't say one that you...
There's so much irony in this. Like, I really don't. I can't think of one that I would be like, yeah, I want to listen. Oh wait. Okay. There is one, the Always Sunny podcast. So comedy. So I'm like really big into a comedy, but there isn't anything informational that I listen to. But yeah, even when I listened to agency podcasts, it was literally like, okay, well, what's everybody else doing? And then how can we be different? And fortunately, how we can be different from other agency podcasts is literally just being ourselves.
Yeah. Not be weird. Not like, I don't even robots.
Not rely on interviews.
Yeah.
Every agency podcast is like, there's like one where it's like the owners that talk for like 20 minutes. And then there's like a 50-minute interview. And then like,
it feels like
it's just so lazy.
It's like watching the diet news, you know, like I'm like, it's the news, but discount.
Yeah.
But it's like boring. And I don't know. Everybody's trying to be professional and it's very lame.
Mm-hmm.
But ask me if I listen to any podcasts.
Cody, do you listen to any podcasts?
Good question, Jake. I'm glad you asked. I listen to Tropical MBA.
I listen to the ones you send me. You send me some,
yeah.
But I always take it with a grain of salt because there's that one that you sent me and I was like, this one sucks.
I don't remember.
It was the dude who had the window washing, like the remote window washing thing.
I don't even remember. So I was like,
you're just a window washing guru. That's all you are. Like you don't have a remote service.
Do you watch Unbox Therapy on YouTube?
No, but I know what it is.
Okay. Yeah. I watched Lou Later for a long time. So that's the other one. And then sometimes I'll still watch Trash Taste. It's for weebs. That's it. So there's only a few that I really like too. I know some people are really into them. Well, thank you if that's one of you guys. And I'm sorry I told you to go away. Hang out more if you want to. But seriously, go work on your business.
Our podcast isn't going to make your business grow, but it will provide entertainment and ideas. You just have to take the action.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all I had. It's probably going to be tied out something totally different because we got off on some really good tangents.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Everbros podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you.